The state of manufacturing in the state of Pennsylvania. Catalyst Connection has partnered with the Commonwealth's 6 other industrial resource centers to take the pulse of the industry. And the good news, it's got a lot more going for it than you might think, despite big challenges that remain. Petra Mitchell is president of Catalyst Connection, and Dennis Meteny is chair of the board and president and CEO of Cygnus Manufacturing Company. And welcome. Good to see both of you.
Hello, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, we do a lot of hand-wringing here in the United States that we don't make anything anymore. China's going to own the future. I think one of the lessons that leaps out of this latest analysis is we're still pretty big manufacturers right here in our region.
Absolutely, Bill. The key thing that we discovered in this report is that manufacturing is still our biggest industry. It contributes 13.6% of our gross state product, and it's actually a much bigger component in Pennsylvania than it is in the United States as a whole.
Even today,
even today,
yeah, despite some erosion over the past several decades, still a higher concentration of manufacturing here.
Yes, absolutely. It's the biggest contributor to our state's gross state product.
Wow.
It also still employs well over 500,000 people in this state with, again, very high average wages, very family-sustaining, benefit-oriented wages.
It's kind of where the wealth creation happens, right? You make something and improve it, and then you create value, and in turn create wealth. Does that? It surprises a lot of people, Dennis, to hear this.
And I was surprised too when you see that percentage of gross state product and realize it's the #1 industry sector in the state. You are surprised. Interestingly, it's not only important to sort of the center of the major population areas, but it's very important to the suburbs. Our company, CMC, is out in Butler County, and it's these companies, 100, 200, 500-person companies, are very important to those rural economies.
Hey, you talk about the big numbers and the percentages. There are lots and lots of manufacturing companies in the state, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's over 16,000 small and medium-sized manufacturers. The majority of them have less than 500 employees. And one of the interesting things that we discovered in this study is when you look over the last few years, the years before the recession, the majority of the job losses in manufacturing occurred with larger companies. So with companies with less than 500 employees, which is the majority of manufacturers in Pennsylvania, there was actually stable jobs and in some cases job growth. And I think that points to the continued job opportunities that we're going to see among the small manufacturers in Pennsylvania.
Well, Dennis, how do you account for that? What's going on at the small manufacturer level that makes them able to do that?
The companies who are around today in 2011 are survivors. I mean, they've learned to be very good. We've taken lean courses from Catalyst Connection consultants that have helped us look at our business and try to be very, very efficient. Interestingly, our customers, in the case of CMC, our customers are very large companies, multinational companies, that have really forced us, in a nice way, but forced us to become better. So the strategy that we're looking at CMC is how do we take a 125-person company and make it slightly bigger? Because I was surprised in the report, and actually positively surprised in the report, that 250 to 500-person company is the one that's doing the best.
Is that one of the challenges that the smaller manufacturers face, is trying to get to that level and that level of performance as well as scale?
Absolutely. One of the key challenges that we're facing now has to do with our workforce. So we do have job opportunity on the one hand, but we are finding a gap in terms of the skill level of some of the job seekers. And so one of the things we're learning, manufacturing is an advanced type of a sector. There's a lot of sophisticated skills that are required, computer-based skills, technical skills. And so I think for the folks that are thinking about maybe their next career move, their next job opportunity, manufacturing is absolutely a place they could be looking at for some very, again, skilled positions and family-sustaining type positions.
But it's interesting, when considering this region, for much of its history, was one of the world's great manufacturing centers. There are a lot of folks around here who are telling their kids, get into software, get into finance, get into anything but manufacturing. Is it a challenge to attract people?
Exactly, and we're seeing the effects of that. Everyone here has been saying, go to college. That's where you need to go. Quite frankly, in our business, we have welders, we have CNC machinists that are highly skilled, They don't need a college education to do that, but they do need technical training to do that. And we would like to see a bigger supply of that type of skill here. We probably have people in our customer base that is concerned about the supply chain here. They want it local. It makes sense for them to stay close to home, to have these products built here. But we will have interesting discussions going forward with the people who are interested in workforce development, because that's a key to our region's success.
Especially those training beyond high school, right? Not necessarily
Yes.
a bachelor's degree.
Right. Certificate programs, apprenticeship programs, associate degrees. These are all good pathways to good sustaining jobs in manufacturing.
To be able to preserve manufacturing here and to have these kinds of jobs, we got to be smarter, right? More technology driven than the rest of the world.
Yeah. Interestingly, Bill, another key finding of the study is that productivity in manufacturing, which is measured as output per employee, is actually twice as high in manufacturing than it is in non-manufacturing. So again, that's an indication of exactly what you just described. It's the technology, it's the innovation that's being used to have a very productive sector in our economy.
You see the same thing? Yeah. The importance of the technology to be competitive?
If we look at strategy, for example, for my company, CMC, we've targeted very high precision intermediate volumes. We can't compete with Asia Pacific on very high volume things. You know, no one's making cell phones in the U.S. But there is a very high, very large market for these high precision intermediate volumes for companies that can really use technology. And we need to keep adding to that technology and keep adding to that workforce to be successful.
A lot to it, a lot more in the report. I guess you can get it through the Catalyst Connection website?
You can, or also pamade.org has a full context of the report as well as highlights that are easy to read, quick, simple facts about manufacturing.
Excellent. pamade.org. Petra Mitchell, Dennis Meteny from Catalyst Connection. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill.
Appreciate it.